Hey, it's Richard here with Sherwood Motor Cars. Today, we're going for a spin in our badass 1965 Chevelle Malibu SS. I love this car. It is so cool. It's an aluminum headed LS7 454. It's got all kinds of jams, backed up with my favorite, the Muncie 4-speed manual transmission. This is a badass hot rod in 1960s clothes. I love driving it. It's manual steering, but the steering's pretty light. The suspension has been upgraded with tubular A-arms, big sway bars. This car handles and drives really nice. Stops good, shifter down into first. Here we are at a light, it idles just like a puppy. This car is a cool hot rod. I love, love, love these cars. And I'm gonna let you in on just a little bit of history. My dad drag raced a 1965 El Camino for years. I spent so many days at the track with him. I'm more of a Chevelle guy than I've ever been an El Camino guy, but getting into a 1965, looking across this dash, this steering wheel, this hood, being in this car brings back so many great memories for me. Going racing, making some passes, working on the car, taking something that's not too nice and taking it into something, even little stuff like, you know, the rattle in the shifter on the linkage of the Muncie. Yeah, probably move this boot around and make that go away, but I kind of love it. It's pretty great. And this Chevelle is a real throwback to me. I'm excited to take it for a drive here today and just see what this big block is all about. The seating position in these cars is really good. It's really a throwback seating position. Big steering wheel. This is a stock wheel. The car is just pretty good and well done without being overdone. It's not a frame-off resto. This is a driver-type hot rod of a car. The steering wheel works perfect with the manual steering. It feels super cool. Oh yeah, I like throwing a couple of gears. We're gonna take it easy. It's a cold day. There's a cold road. We're in town, so I'm gonna behave as best as I can. But man, oh man, this is a cool car. You know, when a Muncie's right, there's not too many things in the world that shift better, make it feel better to change gear in. Here we are in traffic. Oh, this thing is a man car. The feel of the steering, the motor, the way it sounds, the way it feels, driving the car around, that immediate big block work. Here's a rolling third gear, park throttle, and we're just eating traffic alive. I love this car making some noise. Super smooth as we pull it into fourth gear. It would be super happy just to cruise along like this all day long. Oh man. Nice and super flat in the bend. So much jam left to give. I'm barely towing into the throttle of this thing. Totally awesome. Nice and smooth through the gears. Shifter works great. hand on the ball and it just goes right away. And when you're cruising along, I mean, here we are at sort of 1500 RPM in fourth, coming up to a stop. I'm gonna downshift it into second gear. And big block torque just makes it rock. Really getting after this thing and rowing through some gears. This car's got good pull. It's got really good throttle response. And it's very, very difficult for me to be responsible here in traffic. I'm gonna be responsible for you guys, but I just want to be honest that I'm struggling with it. This thing's so cool. I love every bit about it. I love some of the wear marks on the dash, the elbow marks on the door panel. I love the mechanical clutch feel. Ooh, and that's what I love the best. Big block torque and horsepower. Every single vehicle on the road today is just in my way. And if we had the right stretch of road in the right place, sure love to see what this thing's like north of 6,000 RPM. You know, it's one of those weird things when you're in a pretty rowdy muscle car, upshifting and decelerating at the same time as you come up on traffic. That's kind of reality with stuff like this, and it just sort of hints at what this car would be like to drive if you were in a spot where you had a little bit more space, a little bit more room, maybe a little bit less police presence. You'd really see what this thing's all about. This motor and this car, they belong together. It is such a good match. I'm having a blast. This car works way better than my dad's old car used to, I gotta say. It was a pretty rattly, janky thing. It was okay at the drag strip. It went pretty decently fast, but it's nowhere near as well put together as this car is. We're getting close to the end of our little drive here. Man, I wish we were going for a lot longer one. I could sure spend an afternoon in this thing. Tranny's nice and smooth. Motor is super happy. And we are ready to take this thing home. Here on the other side of the street. I'd love to show you what the top side of second gear feels like. Not with those boys sitting there. We're just gonna idle her back to the shop here. And I'm just gonna have to wait for another day. If one of you guys gets a chance to take this thing home, you're gonna have a hot rod on your hands. This thing drives great. I had a lot of fun taking this thing for a spin. This is my kind of car. It drives awesome. It feels so cool. And I'll tell you, the day they invented big block stick shift muscle cars, is a day for the books. Here we are pulling back into home at Sherwood Motor Cars. Lots of traffic coming in right now. That's great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you next time.